Hello, hello. Awesome. So I'd actually love to just do a quick round of introductions so we all know who's on the panel today. We'll start off with Kelly.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Kelly Gardiner. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Care+Wear. So we do two really cool things. We create healthwear apparel for people who have chronic conditions or going through cancer treatment. And then we also partner with hospitals and health systems as their out-of-house, in-house R&D. So creating different products that they need to better support patients and clinicians.
And hey, everybody, I'm Matt. I'm the founder and CEO of Loftie. We're a sleep company, and we're all about resetting your relationship with the tech in your life and kicking your phone out of your bedroom, which we think is the best thing you can do for a better night's sleep. We're based in New York and so excited to be here. Thank you to D2C Experts for having us.
Sweet. My name is Jenny. I am a strategic partner manager here at Gorgias. We are a platform to help. We're an e-commerce platform to help brands automate through customers. Oh my gosh, why am I fumbling? That lunch was the big lunch.
It was the flight in from Toronto. She crossed boundaries to get here for us.
I flew international.
I came from Quebec. She came from Toronto.
And I'm trying to wrap my head around this tagline, but we're the customer experience platform. We help support brands with conversational AI to sell more and to automate more of their support today. So let's jump into the panel. Kelly, my first question for you here is, where does CX start for you?
So there's a great Amazon panel here in the last session, and I think it was Lou, who said everything in marketing is interconnected. And even though it sounds a little trite, customer experience, brand experience, it's everywhere. It's the first touch, it's awareness to advocacy. So I think for us, it's your entire perception of Care+Wear, if we're meeting you where you are, and unfortunately, if you're meeting us and you are a direct-to-consumer customer, you likely are going through a really shitty time, excuse my language, or you have a friend or family who's going through a really shitty time. And so we want to make sure that we're there for you right when you need us, because we are a high-need state product. And so we really think about it as the entire perception that you have of our brand is your customer experience.
I think what's interesting about customer experience is we have to look at it holistically, right? It's like the first point of contact to when they make a purchase. What does that journey look like for customers today? And here at Gorgias, a lot of the things that we're starting to understand with our brands now, it's like the proactive conversations, right? It's not reactive. When they first reach out to you, it shouldn't be the first touch point where they experience something great about your brand. So I think in terms of marketing and how you guys have your first touch base, it's really important that first experience is impressionable.
Yeah, and I think for us on the clinician side, everything is word of mouth. And so we really want to make sure that the experience that you have with us and our products is fantastic. And so, and the same on the D2C side. So, if you know someone that has cancer, you can say, I know this one thing that will make your life a little bit easier during a really tough time.
And that's the important thing, right? Especially, making something easier for people to either purchase or offer the product. Matt, what does that look like for you?
Well, we had a call on Friday to prep for this, and you're both saying you've been getting ads on TikTok and whatever. So that's great to hear that's working. But
it's meeting me where I am for sure.
Yeah. Becca, who's currently filming me, is our social media manager, and go Becca. And I mean, she's in DMs, answering questions from the get-go. So, you see the ad, you have a question, how bright is the light that wakes you up? Or what kind of sounds do you have? Like, does it not sound like my iPhone, hopefully, So that's the beginning of CX. And so it's really important for us as we increase our use of AI and automation that we still retain the human side of customer experience from the very beginning, all the way through to you've been our customer for 4 years.
That actually leads me to my next question. How are you leveraging AI for your CX strategy to help drive sales?
Yeah, so we're huge early adopters of the latest and greatest, and we before Gorgias had introduced AI, we started using Sienna maybe a year and a half ago, like pretty much just right as they came out, and that we now answer about half of our customer support tickets with AI, but the other half we don't, and it's very important for us to maintain that balance. So, where's my order can be responded to in 1 minute from Sienna, and it can get that information from Shopify and tell you and send the link and all that, and it's like, how do I set it up? It can send you the specific instructions, but if you have like a very specific question, we'll reply to you. And then we also use AI in our sales process. So the same way you'd walk into a normal store in real life, and there's someone who says, how can I help you? Which I usually hate and don't want. But if you actually do want help, then we do have an AI on our site that is with Big Sur. It's called Big Sur AI. That is like a sales agent. So it can answer any questions and it can show you options. It's great for companies like skis or boots or whatever. We're really like, I have no idea what kind of shoes I need. And so you can just ask, like, I need hiking shoes, and it can start to triage. But it's helpful for us too, just because ours is a product that requires education in order to justify this. We sell a pretty expensive alarm clock. And if you're just competent to an ordinary $20 alarm clock at CVS, you're going to say, why would I ever pay $150 for that? But ours is changing the way you wake up, getting you better sleep, making you feel a lot more rested, decreasing the stress which you start your day with. So that's valuable.
I think the important thing here is with both of these brands is providing the education for customers so that they have the information readily available to make that purchase. And I'm sure, Kelly, you could probably shed some light on, what that looks like when people are reaching out specifically for that industry. What does that look like, and how is your team leveraging AI?
Yeah, so we use it mostly in the purchase flow to recommend products. Usually if you're diagnosed with something and you need perhaps a chest port put in, maybe you don't even know that you can have something that doesn't look like, the ugliest garment your grandma has in her closet that's just like big enough to put on. Like you don't know what your options are. So we focus a lot on product recommendations, and then we do just so much pre-purchase education. UGC, shout out social media, Becca, is so important. That's the entirety of our direct-to-consumer funnel. Like that is who is getting the awareness out, explaining to people how to use the products, why they're beneficial. So AI for us in the post-purchase and some of the things that you guys are doing sound pretty cool.
It sounds like it's not just automation, but smart automation, like when to involve AI, and then when to introduce humans when they need that extra touch. Kelly, I want to just chat with you a little bit about the framework, how you're turning customer support into innovation, and how are you using some of the information today to better your products?
So when Care+Wear was started, our founder did this very cool thing, developing a proprietary approach that basically took clinicians, so making sure that the product was medically superior, designers, so we work with folks from Parsons, we work with Oscar de la Renta, Notori, and a few others, and then customers. And so it's 12:15, 12:58, and so we have this three-prong approach that we use in everything that we do. And so customer feedback for us is kind of just part of how we operate. So if we're launching a new product, nurses are going to have their hands on it to use it before we roll it out. If we're introducing a new product, Patients are going to use it to tell us, oh, the thumb hole's not in the right place. You actually need the zipper to go down a little bit more. And so feedback for us happens at kind of all stages. And I think the nature of creating products that people wear is that you're always in development, because you can always optimize, you can always create cool new patterns, new features, new buttons. So I think for us, that's part of how we operate. And then we have an amazing ops team who does a lot of consolidation on customer feedback. So we're looking at that quite a bit. And the other thing that we do, I'm sure a lot of startups do this, but we all have customer support hours. And so we are all intimately aware of the pain points in the customer experience, the pain points with our return policies, the pain points with our products. So it's just core to who we are.
Matt, what are your thoughts on that? What are you guys doing today to use your customer support tickets and translating that into innovation?
Yeah, that's becoming an increasingly core to how we think about, developing new features and similar, although generally our changes are software, but not always. But we actually just had our first meeting yesterday where the head of our CX synthesized everything from our tune-up reviews to our Gorgias chats to our, I don't even know, all the different surveys. We asked people so many different ways how we can be better, and it's in so many disparate places. And we were talking about this, and I was saying this would be a great Gorgias project. But how do you get all that information together? And right now we're just putting it in ChatGPT and then telling it, and then it's telling us how to act on that. And then we meet as the whole company and we say, what are the top 3 things we could do next month to improve our customers' experience? And it could be a new software feature, could be a change to our return policy, whatever it is. And so we really want to do right by our customers, and it's the most important thing just to have happy customers. So we really take those seriously, and we triage them, what is the biggest impact we can make with our small 10-person team.
I have a question for Matt, just because now that I'm being crawled around the internet by Loftie, you guys do a lot of very cool partnerships, very specific, bespoke. Did that come about from customer feedback, or how did that? I was looking at them, I was like, this is cool, even though I have an alarm clock that I like.
Don't tell the name.
But how did that? Was that part of customers telling you that they liked certain brands, or how did that happen?
That has just always been part of the company. It's mostly just because we as the team really enjoy working with other brands. And I think also we have sort of a underdog feel of the sleep people next to the nutrition and fitness people, because they always get the spotlight for health and wellness. But we really think that sleep is kind of the foundational pillar of well-being. And so we love to partner with companies in those realms. So we're doing a lot with Hyperice right now. And some of it's just we meet them at events like these. We met the Hyperice and Molecule team at the International Spa Association conference, which is coming up again in March. And I never thought that I would be going to the iSpa, the International Spa, but it's an awesome event. There's so many great people and there's all these hotels. And so partnerships allow us to be a much bigger hitter as a 10-person company, and way more effective, or way more less expensive than Meta. So the more we can do in partnerships, the better. So if anyone wants to partner with us, say hi to Becca after this event.
That's awesome. So what's interesting is a lot of you, what you guys spoke about, your customer support is really the gold mine, right? This is where, you get the insights of what your customers are asking for and what they want to see. I was actually on a panel a couple months ago with one of our brands, Olipop. And one of the questions we asked her is how are you using, product innovation with CS? And she said that a lot of people are asking about a specific flavor. And with being able to collect that data within Gorgias, they actually created a product with that flavor. And what's great about this is, customers are asking for it, they get it, and they're like, oh my gosh, like they finally are listening to me, right? So it's like creating that loyalty with your customers. So definitely look at your customers' feedback and try to innovate based on what it is that they need. A cool stat that I was speaking with my team about, business.com says that 67% of your sales are actually from repeat customers. So again, like we all focus on customer acquisition, but like let's keep those existing customers happy as well. Sweet. So leads me to my next, moving on to my next question. Matt, as your business evolves and scales, what are some key elements of your CX strategy that have remained consistent over time?
Well, it's actually very similar to what you were just saying about, the keeping the customer and the value of that retention lifetime of your customer. And I think early on when, resources are still really scarce at a bootstrap startup, but they're a little less scarce than they were, when we started in 2020. And so it's really become about preserving the value of the customer rather than preserving the value of the product. Because it was at the beginning, it was very, if we lost something, we would really try to get back. I don't know, who knows what example it is, but like right now, there's really, and if you're a customer watching this, don't abuse this system, but like we really want you to be happy, and we try to avoid like fraud, and there are people who defraud. There's some boys at Penn State who just like defrauded us massively, and so it's just tens of thousands of dollars. But it's such a balance. You have to protect yourself against people who are going to manipulate the system, and there are people who claim they didn't get a package, and they got the package, but the threat of that person going crazy across all your reviews platforms is usually greater than just sending them another clock. It's very unfortunate. It's a peril of e-commerce, but we've shifted to that strategy because I don't think there's another strategy as a long-term customer relationship, because yes, there are a few bad apples, but most people are being honest, and something really did happen, and you just have to make it right. And then that's way more valuable than the cost of whatever you're sending them.
Just to build on that, and that sucks about Penn State, but I think you just start to take things a little less personally across the entire journey. I don't know any more than anyone else about who's going to click on an ad. Like, our customer tells us what they like at every single point. And so I think it's us to kind of, with balance, because it can get frustrating when you're always optimizing and always changing things, but like they know best, and we need to listen to them, and we need to figure out how to be a little less precious with things along the way, within reason, because there are things you should stay precious about, but definitely listening and, reducing the internal pain around change.
Awesome. I'm curious to hear from the both of you. How have you guys maintained balance between personalization as you guys continue to scale? In regards to marketing or customer experience, how do you guys maintain that kind of personalized touch with your customers?
I was mentioning before, so much of what we do is, unlike the 67% of people who you mentioned, like hopefully you're only buying our product once. And if you aren't, like that's a real bummer, because hopefully you're in remission or you've moved on from what it is that brought you to us. So for us, there's a lot of personalization at the product and ad level, just because why you're coming to us, if you have Lyme disease, if you have breast cancer, if you have brain cancer, or any number of things, you're going to want to understand how that works for your disease condition. And so we look at personalization in that way, which is there are these amazing people who are ambassadors who can kind of tell these stories with us, and really personalize how they are using for their disease or treatment the product. And that's been really successful for us.
I think for us, because software is such a big component of our products, and so they're there's a smart lamp and a smart clock, and then there's an app, and we have a lot of audio content. We're constantly pushing out new content to help people wind down. And so early on, when we only had some part-time developers, a lot of our effort was on CX. How do we help people use the first version of our software? Now we have 5 developers, and we're constantly pushing out new versions of the software in response to customer feedback. And so we're able to use the customer feedback now, but make the product better and better as it goes on. So but that only comes with growth and the ability to hire more people. Early on, you have to kind of be more working with the limited resources you have. But yeah, as you get bigger, you can incorporate that feedback and to actually make the product better.
Matt, I have a question for you in terms of, I know that you're using conversational AI with your brand today. What are some things that you would recommend for some of the brands out here today that are hesitant on adopting conversational AI?
Yeah, I think that's where customer experience is going, and I think you're going to be left behind if you're not using it because, or your operations budget is going to be unsustainable. And when it's these very simple transactional requests, like customers are way happier to get that response right away. Our AI agent has some of our strongest Gorgias, I think you call them CXP scores, like the customer
CSAT
rating.
scores.
C what?
CSAT scores.
Yeah. They're very high because that person wanted very specific information quickly, and we got it to them. And we can get it to them, on Saturday at 4 a.m.
Sounds like the name of the game is speed, right? The quicker you can attend to your customers, the happier they stay, and the more likely that they're going to purchase. And that kind of wraps up our panel.
Yeah, if there are any audience questions, we have time for one right now, and I see you right over there. So we'll hand you the microphone.
Hi there. I have a question about how you incentivize your customers to fill out surveys and to give you the feedback that's so necessary for a good customer experience.
We ask them a lot. We incentivize them with product, sometimes discounting, but mostly product. And I think we try different methods. Like sometimes some folks, Google Forms is just a really great and easy thing for them. And then, we've got some Klaviyo flows that we use that are really successful post-purchase, but it's just trying a lot of different things depending on your audience and who you're trying to reach, what you're trying to get from them.
I'll just add, we also use Klaviyo a lot I think it's so hard to get people to answer that it's really just the amount of hits you can take. So having flows on so many different triggers, and then we used to do a small discount, but I'm a big believer in behavioral science, behavioral economics, and I think that people tend to like bigger prizes better. So we do lotteries for bigger prizes rather than a small discount because people don't really care about $5 or $10.
People like free stuff, guys. Incentivize with the free stuff. Awesome. Well, that wraps up our panel. Thank you, Kelly and Matt.
Thank you so much.